The hospital's own archives contain a number of documents recording daily life on the wards.
There is a great many different pieces of documentary evidence available to me. One of the most obvious was the patient's case notes, although in actual fact these case notes, which document the social background and the diagnosis and admissions procedure pertaining to the patients, as well as some very bizarre three-sided photographs, weren't in fact available to the nursing staff. These were kept separate by the medical fraternity and, as I say, weren't available at ward level at all, which made things rather difficult for many of the staff on the wards who had some problems of management with people who they didn't know why they had been admitted, or their often criminal backgrounds.
Do you think some of them were of normal ability?
I thought they would. If it hadn't been for their criminal record, I don't think they'd ever been in Lennox Castle. Mm-hmm. You could have picked up any amount in Glasgow, just the same IQ as them. Mm-hmm. See, they took them to Berlin and they examined them in Berlin, and if their IQ was slightly below, that was enough. Mm-hmm. It was one way of getting them off the streets, habitual criminal.
Which would make things quite difficult for yourselves.
Yes, aye. I mean, they got sentenced to maybe 6 months in jail and then finished up in the castle. It extended to years if it didn't run away.
We have the daily report book, which tells us the staff who were on the wards, number of patients in the wards, number of patients who are out and pass, and it details again the incidents that might happen. Somebody is noisy, aggressive to a fellow patient, prescribed chlorpromazine 100 milligrams or whatever, somebody stealing, somebody refusing to eat or whatever. These are day-to-day incidents that are recorded here.
What would be the main problems you would have in the wards in terms of looking after the patients?
Oh, well, there was the usual. Sometimes a wee bit fracas with them, you know. Some of them fight with one another. Sometimes fight with the staff, you know. It's like everything else. If you get 82 together all the time, they must fall out.
So, what sanctions would you be able to take?
The whole thing was always they'd send for more staff. When you got them, nobody ever told us.
So did you actually have to end up fighting?
Struggling with them, putting them into bed. That was where they put you to bed. And then they were on punishment for after that. The Mr. Woodbine. Get beer rations. And when if they ran away, they came back and brought back, they would put them into a white moleskin suit. And they kept that on for maybe 3 months. That was to try and make sure they didn't run away again. I'll try and make sure.
And did they have a name for that regime?
Well, the only name they ever had was 5 o'clock treatment. When they got up, they went out and worked, and when they come in at 5 o'clock, they went to bed.
And were they putting a diet at all?
At the beginning, they were putting a diet. Bread and tea. I don't think they mess with their porridge.
And was it something that worked at all?
I don't think it worked at all. I mean, if they wanted to run away, they would run away. I mean, with enough intelligence, and you find that I'm not staying in here.
As far as the patients are concerned, I think the documentary evidence concerning them only illustrates a patient's life who might be a problem in some ways, or whose life is filled with certainly incidents that are recorded. It doesn't tell you very much about the day-to-day life of a patient.
How did you get on with the staff, the nurses?
Some staff was good and some staff wasn't.
Did you have any sort of what you would call friends among the staff?
I had a lot of friends here. Some of them.
Among the staff, but amongst the nurses?
I used to like Fiona Roberts and Bill McCune and all them. The ward I used to be in.
What about the staff you didn't go in with?
Didn't bother with them.
And why didn't you go in with them?
I was going back years and years ago when they used to all go down when we all used to go down on my knees and do the scrubbing. With short nightgowns, moleskins, and you only used to get one fag a day at 7 o'clock at night.
Why would you be doing this?
It's because we're bad.
And what do you mean bad?
We used to all go down on knees and do all the scrubbing when you were in punishment.
What would you describe as bad? What would be the reason for you being in punishment?
Because I was only a wee toddler. I used to be wild as what I was.
Wild? And what would you do when you were wild?
They used to put me into my bed.
But what would you do? Would you try and run away, or would you break a window? Or?
I wouldn't break a window, I would run away if I was.
And did you run away at all?
No. I wouldn't run away.
Did you never feel like it?
I felt like doing it when I was here, but I wouldn't. I just felt like running away.
I was in a fortunate position to have this document passed on to me by an ex-member of staff who worked in the nursing administration at Lennox Castle Hospital. It's the old misconduct book for the male patients running from 1937 until the 70s, and it charts each individual patient's record of misconducts within the wards. For example, this particular patient, 1940, struck out at attendant when cautioned for smoking pipe at breakfast table, resistive when put to bed, used threatening and obscene language, bread and milk diet as ordered by medical officer, threw cup through window, ordered and given 3 grams of paraldehyde, threatened to blind staff with glass measure. We can see here what types of misdemeanours were punished. What the punishments tended to be, which were usually put to bed and put in a restricted diet. Also the use of the drug paraldehyde, and the fact that the medical officer had to be contacted to put these things in operation, and perhaps also some of the behaviour that the staff had to contend with in the hospital.